Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maddie Volmer.
And I'm Jaden Awan. Customs and Border Patrol have over 40 pounds of narcotics in their possession tonight. In the span of 2 days, Border Patrol seized 17 pounds of fentanyl, 13 pounds of meth, and 10 pounds of cocaine after canines alerted officers on each occasion. The individuals involved in the attempted smugglings were arrested at Border Patrol at the El Paso, Mexico border and turned over to state and local authorities for prosecution.
Authorities say a Mexican citizen has died at an El Paso hospital after he was shot at the Isleta border crossing in El Paso. The man was in custody and being prosecuted on criminal charges, but no other details have been released. The FBI is leading the investigation onto the shooting. And April is next with the first look at weather.
Thank you, Maddie. And for today's current conditions, we did have partly sunny skies with a temperature of 76 degrees. We did have a slight breeze coming in from the south at 4 miles per hour, a dew point of 47, and a humidity reaching 35%, while our barometer was at 29.86 inches. And for our high temperature today, it was 76 degrees, while we experienced our lowest temperature of the day early in the morning at a chilly 57 degrees, leaving our average temperature at 74 degrees. Our record high temperature occurred in 2013 at 108 degrees, while in 2011 we did have a record low temperature of 9 degrees below zero. It did not rain at all today, leaving our yearly rainfall at 12 inches. That's all for today's current conditions, but join me later for a look at our national maps.
Film activity in New Mexico is growing, and the City Council approved a $95,000 contract with Film Las Cruces. For 7 years, the nonprofit organization has marketed the city of Doña Ana County, and film productions provides related services such as location scouting and assistance in obtaining permits. The contract extends through June of 2023 and is renewable. A recent analysis by the Mesilla Valley Economic Development Alliance reported the film industry generated $17.28 million in local activity during the fiscal year of 2022. We're only a month away from the general election, and poll workers are facing the biggest challenge they've had in decades. With so many people believing the lie that the election of 2020 was stolen, poll workers are facing harassment. The Doña Ana County clerk says it's a huge problem.
You asked earlier who is the most damaged by what's going on connected to this, and frankly it's our electorate, it's our voters, it's the public, because much of their narrative that is incorrect, is blatantly wrong, is catching on for some of these folks, and they have less faith in our electoral process, which is deeply, deeply concerning.
Lopez-Aiken has been holding training sessions for poll workers to make sure they're able to handle expected problems.
And stay tuned, April will be back with your national forecast.
Hi, I'm Chris Cooper. Join me for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. Each week, my guests and I tackle interesting gardening problems, from planning, to planting, to maintenance, to harvest. We'll also answer your emails and letters and give you great tips so you can keep your family plots green and growing.
Saturday at 12 noon on KRWG Media.
Empowering, transformational, and accessible, with modifications clearly explained, Indie Yoga is an immersive experience. Diverse classes take you through atmospheric landscapes and soundscapes, using your breath, your body, and your self-awareness as a tool to connect to something bigger.
Saturday morning at 6:30 on KRWG Public Media.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters. Syphilis cases are on the rise in New Mexico, and for newborns, it causes concern. The New Mexico Department of Health orders syphilis testing of all pregnant women to prevent congenital syphilis in babies. The DOH renewed a 2021 public health order to protect newborns from syphilis. The POH mandates that all medical providers test pregnant women multiple times. DOH plans on reintroducing the bill in the next legislative session regarding testing pregnant women for syphilis to align with CDC guidelines.
We are right in the middle of Mental Illness Awareness Week, and tomorrow is National Depression Screening Day. NMSU has a way to help you in the privacy of your own home. Just log in to You at NMSU to get immediate personalized feedback on how you are doing. The questionnaire helps with feedback across different areas, including depression and loneliness, stress and anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. You at NMSU is an online portal that is completely personalized to the individual to help support your needs.
The New Mexico Department of Health invites accredited press to join for a COVID-19 and monkeypox update press conference tomorrow at 1 p.m. The 45-minute event will include a short presentation and address the early submission questions first. Then, media will be offered an opportunity to ask questions. The event will be streamed live on the DOH Facebook page or on Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's YouTube channel.
April is next with the national weather forecast.
Thanks, Maddie. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first national map of the night. Today we have the high temperatures across the nation, while the lowest temperature on the map is 57 degrees. While the rest of the country does seem to be experiencing a bit nicer temperatures, ranging anywhere between the high 60s to the mid 80s. For example, Kansas is 81 degrees. In Dallas, it's 87 degrees, and Houston as well, while in San Antonio, it's at 88 degrees. For our next map of the night, we do have the rain and snow forecast for the next 48 hours. And the majority of the action does seem to be happening here in New Mexico, as well as not too far from us in the northern part of Texas. Other than that, the majority of the country is experiencing a bit calmer weather. And for our last map of the night, we do have a satellite image of the nation showing the aftermath of Hurricane Ian, which occurred and made landfall last week on Wednesday. Now, the majority of the damage was done specifically in Florida, but we do happen to see the rest of the weather happening in the northern eastern part of the nation, mainly from Maryland all the way to Massachusetts, where they will be experiencing strong winds and a bit of rainfall. That's all for the national weather today, but join me after the break for a look at your local weather.
Hi, this is Christopher Kimball, and welcome to Milk Street Television. This year, we travel around the world to Italy, to Mexico, to Israel, as well as LA and Savannah. We bring you bold, fresh flavors, simpler techniques, and we also introduce you to home cooks from around the world. So if you want to change the way you cook, you want to be a better cook, please tune in to Milk Street Television.
Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Consumers today want a lot more information on just where their food is coming from and what's involved in bringing it from farm to fork. America's Heartland gives urban viewers an inside look at modern agriculture, your chance to meet the men and women on farms and ranches who play an essential role in delivering food, fuel, and fiber to our nation and the world. Real people, real stories on America's Heartland.
Saturday at 6 p.m.
And now for our local weather for today. In Farmington, we have a temperature of 57 degrees, while in Santa Fe, it's at 54 degrees, Socorro's at 58 degrees, and Deming is at 78 degrees. And for our temperatures for tomorrow, Farmington will be at 69 degrees, Gallup at 63 degrees, Albuquerque at 65 degrees, and Deming at 73 degrees. And for Alamogordo, they will be experiencing a thunderstorm all the way until tomorrow. Tonight, they will have a low temperature of 54, and tomorrow a high temperature of 71. In Truth or Consequences, they'll have a low temperature of 53 and a high temperature of 70. While In Silver City, they will have a low temperature of 49 degrees and a high temperature of 67 degrees. And in Las Cruces tonight, there will be a thunderstorm going all the way until tomorrow morning with a low temperature of 55 degrees and a high temperature tomorrow of 74 degrees. That's all for the local temperatures. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, April. Since school is back in session, students are raising money for their organizations. A couple of weeks ago, the camp organization held its second annual car wash at Martin Tire Company on the corner of Amador and Solano. CAMP stands for College Assistance Migrant Program. It helps children of migrant farm workers be successful in college.
The purpose of CAMP is to assist migrant working students who have family members that have worked in the fields. They help them with financial needs, mentoring, academic advising, tutoring.
He also mentioned that the purpose of the fundraiser is to teach current camp students leadership, academic and social skills through fundraising events. Upcoming events by the Camp Student Council can be found on camp.nmsu.edu. And Michael Chavez is next with a look at sports.
Thanks, Maddie. Coming up in sports, the NMSU women's golf team had a strong finish in the Golf Iconic Classic. But you can toss that remote because News22 Sports is next.
I'm Kath McCauley. Come sketch with me. Pocket sketching's a fun and easy way to learn watercolor, but in an art form that's totally portable, can be done in 25 minutes or less, and needs no setup or cleanup. You can do it, and I can help. Each show teaches techniques so you can quickly create your own sketches, unique to your personal experience. Learn enough to play for a lifetime on pocket sketching.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG-Public Media.
The Taliban, once insurgents themselves, are now in charge, and they're on the lookout for suicide bombers.
They simply cannot let the Russians through here, so they're hanging on for dear life.
These protesters have just found out that Sri Lanka's Prime Minister has resigned. It is a big moment for them.
We break stories from more places than any other international news broadcaster.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Michael Chavez, and let's talk sports. On the final 2 days of the Golf Iconic Classic, the NMSU women's golf team showed out. NMSU hosted the Golf Iconic Classic running from Monday to today, featuring 15 universities from around the nation. In the first round, the women were in 6th place but rallied back, shooting a combined 3 under par for rounds 2 and 3, finishing in 2nd place, shooting 1 over as a team. Valentina Origel and Allison Gaislem finished in the top 10 and both shooting under par. Pepperdine finished on top, shooting 5 under as a team. 2 men's tennis players are claiming WAC honors. Following a good tournament in Colorado, Aggie tennis players Rocco Stepanek and Corey Clark have been named WAC Doubles Team of the Month. They received this honor for the month of September, combining a record of 4-2 during 2 tournaments. The duo will look to keep their high performances going in Albuquerque for the regional championship tournament, which will take place next week. Women's swimming and diving are getting ready to compete in their first meet of the season. The Aggies are welcoming North Texas to the NM State Swimming and Diving Complex. The women competed last week in a crimson and white exhibition with 10 swimming events along with a pair of diving events. The result ended in a white defeating crimson 60-58. You can catch the Aggies in action on Friday at 4 p.m. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. But still ahead on News 22, April will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast.
I'm Lisa Steele, author, blogger, and 5th-generation chicken keeper. I live in rural Maine with my husband, flock of chickens, ducks, and geese, Winston the corgi, and Linus the indoor-outdoor barn cat. We moved to Maine for the peace and serenity. We wanted a simpler life and to step back in time where there are still corner stores and your neighbors still know your name.
Thursday at 2 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
I'm Lynn Elmhurst, a travel journalist with a deep passion for sailing the high seas. The spectacular scenery, fascinating ships, and maritime traditions you can only experience when you cruise. While the world was in pandemic dry dock, I dived into my library of footage to relive some of my favorite travel memories. Join me on the world's greatest cruises.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Now that's all we have for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Tune in tomorrow night for more news. I'm Maddie Volmer.
And I'm Jane Wong from the whole News22 team, Maddie, April, Michael, and myself. Good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Los saluda con mucho gusto Christopher Hernández. El día de hoy, alrededor de las 8:50 de la mañana, la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México fue solicitada a acudir a un accidente automovilístico cerca de la milla 238 al noreste de Tularosa. En el accidente involucraba un autobús escolar, el cual llevaba estudiantes de la secundaria Mountain View. La investigación inicial indicó que el autobús del Distrito Escolar Independiente de Roswell viajaba hacia las Cruces para atender un evento. Por razones desconocidas, el autobús salió de la carretera y se estrelló. Los 25 estudiantes y 3 adultos que abordaban fueron transportados hacia hospitales cercanos. Después se informó que nadie sufrió heridas fatales. El accidente sigue bajo investigación por la Unidad de Reconstrucción de Choques de la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México. Esto ha sido todo por mi parte. No se olvide de seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales, Facebook, Instagram y YouTube. Yo soy Christopher Hernández. Que tengan una muy buena noche.